All right. So I want to start with I'm going to be giving a testimony today, but I want to read 3 verses that are promises from God. And I have to thank Karen when I was going through my unknown lung issues, which is still unknown overall. She gave me verses written in little papers, and there's probably about 50, 60 of them. So some of them really were great promises that I want to share with you, and maybe some people will need these. Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. Mark 11:24, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. So I'm up here going to give you, like I said, my testimony, my story. It's my story. It's only taken over 40 years to come up here and share it. And the reason being, January, as most of you know, is Sanctity of Human Life Month. And each year, God pokes me and prods me and encourages me to share my story. And it's now time to share it. Same thing happened this January. I forgot about it, actually, until somebody posted on Facebook and said, talked about their church was going to Washington, D.C. for the March for Life. And I thought, and then God poked me again and said, do it. So here I am. I'm sharing with you the moment, it's the moment that I became pro-life. It isn't a day or time, it is the moment. I say it's over 40 years ago because I was working at St. Luke's Hospital from 1980 to 86 in the laboratory. I was a phlebotomist, so I drew blood for a living for outpatients and inpatients. But we also got specimens from outpatients and inpatients that the medical technologists would do tests on. Well, one of the plastic containers came down, and one of my coworkers said, "You want to see what's inside?" And I thought, okay. I had no idea why she was asking me that. But on the outside of it, it said in large letters, VIP. And so, not knowing what that meant. So we went over to the counter, and she unscrewed the lid, set it down, and we looked inside. And inside was a gelatinous material with a little tiny foot and a little tiny hand. VIP stood for voluntary interruption of pregnancy. In other words, an abortion. What was inside was the remains of a 6-week term baby, girl or boy, that was aborted that morning. That was the moment I became pro-life. And that was the moment I denied all the lies that they've been telling us, that all it is a blob of tissue. You've all heard that. It's a blob of tissue what's inside a mother's womb. I'm here to tell you it isn't. It is not. 6 weeks, and there I saw, perfect as a day, a foot and a hand. I'm not up here to condemn you, to judge you. If you had an abortion, or if you convinced somebody to have an abortion, God is there waiting to hear your story. And also, this church provides a lot of people, caring, loving, God-fearing people, if you need to share with somebody. I want to leave you with verses that proves more so that we are more than a blob of tissue. And actually, it's from Psalm 139, you kids. How cool is that? It is a Psalm of David speaking to God. He's speaking to God. Psalm 139, verses 15 and 16. When my bones were being formed, carefully put together in my mother's womb, when I was growing there in secret, you knew that I was there. You saw me before I was born. The days allotted me had all been recorded in your book before any of them ever began. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you for sharing that. That's a heavy topic for many, and again, it's not with condemnation that we stand here and offer opinions. We're just offering the truth from God, and what a great opportunity to love people. If you're in that situation, you know somebody who has been in that situation. Like Robin said, there's opportunities for love there, and there's people here who can help guide in those situations.